Since the start of this year, I have been documenting on this channel the number of auditions that I have had for each month of the year, and I've been filming these in kind of 4-month installments. So there's one video that takes you from January to April, there's one video from May to August, and this is the video from September to December. So I will link to the other parts in the description in case you're interested in seeing how the other months of the year went for me. But I think it's interesting, first of all, to be honest about what the industry looks like and what the industry can be like audition wise, and obviously it's different for every casting type and every actor, so this is just my personal experience, and this isn't for anyone to compare themselves to me, because we all are in our own journey and we all have very different kinds of auditions available to us based on our casting type anyway. But I just think it's interesting to know about what the industry is like for other people. And also, I think it is good on a personal level to look at the flow of auditions throughout the year, because this industry is very up and down, and there are quiet months, there are busier months, and that's just the way it is. It's nothing to do with you as an actor or your agent or anything other than, like, there are times where it's busier casting wise and times where it's quieter casting wise. So knowing about that, I think, would be really helpful to know work wise what other kind of work outside of acting I can take on when the busier times are. It's just useful to know, and it's useful to reflect, I think, on each month, to then reflect on where I want to go with my career and if there's anything I can do to help myself get more of the auditions that I want to be getting. And as I am filming this introduction, I am currently in the process of filming the different months, so I'm not at the end of filming this video, but I would say that during the kind of autumn winter months I do talk about singing a lot more, because I have found that across this season so far I have had to sing more in auditions compared to other times of year, because a lot of kind of winter shows and Christmas shows you do have to sing as part of those shows, and I don't want people to think from what I say that I come across a nervous singer in the audition, because I think maybe I used to when I was starting out my career, or as a child auditioning for various different Amdram shows I might have seemed a bit more nervous. But I think something that is really important to reinforce about singing in auditions, especially if it's not for a musical, they're just looking for someone who can sing, is to just really commit to not looking like a nervous singer, because I think that can be really detrimental. Like, I just wanted to make my thoughts on singing in auditions clear, because I think the most important thing is that you give off a fun vibe, and you give off the vibe that you would feel comfortable working on a project that involves singing, because I think I've heard since then about so many different auditions where people give such a confident performance and they're very friendly in the room, chatty, having a laugh with the panel, and I think a lot of in-person auditions especially is about getting on with the people that you work with and showing that you're engaged in the work. However, like, if you then freeze up and sing like this, like, it's not good to hold tension, first of all, for your singing, and secondly, they're not always looking for you to be like a top level singer. If it's not like a really high-end musical, that's not required. So I think it's just really important to commit to the singing, whatever level you feel like your singing's at. So I just thought I'd reinforce that, because I think otherwise you're sort of taking yourself out of the running a bit more if you freeze up and really over concentrate on it, because then I think then you're not showing that you're able to act and perform through a song, and that's the most important thing. But basically at the end of each month I'd film a clip sharing the number of auditions that I'd had, and also sharing a few different reflections and things I'd learned from the various different types of audition processes that I'd experienced throughout the month, without obviously sharing confidential information about the project, but just giving a general overview on my thoughts of each month. So I will timestamp to the different months in the description in case for some reason you want to skip to a certain month or whatever, jump around the video, you will be able to do that. And in the December month we can chat a bit more about my goals moving forward and what I'd like to do audition wise, and just thoughts. I've not filmed that section yet, but I think it would be good to reflect at the end of the video, so there will also be that. So that's my little summary and introduction, and here's the video. So in September I did 4 self-tapes, and I did 2 kind of second round recall auditions. One of them was online and one of them was in person. And 4 self-tapes I think sounds like not a lot compared to other months that I've talked about in previous videos, but I feel like I actually had a lot of auditions going on because of the fact that I was doing second rounds that were kind of more in depth, had more to prepare for, and I feel like I've really built more connections with those companies because I've had the opportunity to meet with them and actually talk with them. So I feel like it's been quite a productive month. And at points in September I was actually really quite busy with work. Like one week I worked 60.75 hours, and I also managed to fit in filming a self-tape around that, preparing recall material around that. So the fact that I'm able to work long hours and like prepare for stuff is really encouraging, that I am able to practically learn lines around having a lot of hours of work, which I think is really encouraging. But over October I would like to be seen for more projects. Like I don't feel like it's been a quiet month. It's not felt like a quiet month as September, and I have been seen for stuff, but I would just like to be seen for even more projects in October, and maybe like be seen for more short films so I can get more footage and update my show reel. That would be really nice. So that's something I would like to focus on a bit more in October. But it's been a very good month. Like I wouldn't say it's been a bad month for September. So in October I did 2 in-person auditions and 5 self-tapes, which might sound like it's only 7 and it's not as much as some other months. Like I don't know if 7 feels like a lot to other people or not. Like it's kind of hard to know how many auditions other people are doing, but I feel like because 2 of them were in person, it just feels like a longer audition because you're in the room for a long time, you have to travel to go there, so it just feels like there's more material to prepare as well. Like it feels like a bigger thing, so it feels like it has been quite busy for auditions. And for these 2 in-person auditions I had to sing, and for one of them I actually got really good feedback on the singing more than the acting, which is crazy to me because I just thought, like, it might seem a bit dumb now, but I thought the singing was just a part that I had to like get through and get to the other side of. Like I never really thought it could be like a positive addition. But I think hopefully I'm starting to get over a little bit of that fear of singing in auditions, because the fact that I had to do it so often meant I had less time in between my auditions to actually overthink it and think about it too much. Like I'm not losing so much sleep over singing in auditions anymore, and realistically I can do it. Like I think I just get in my own head because I've been taking singing lessons for a few years now, so I should be able to sing in auditions. And like people always say, there'll always be people worse than you, but there'll also be people better than you, and like you've just got to go in there and do your best. And my goal at the end of last month was to get the opportunity to do another short film, and actually I didn't really audition for it like properly. I just got the opportunity to do a student film based off of my show reel, which was really good because now I've got extra experience doing another project. I was the lead in the student film and it's all just good experience, so I'm achieving what I want to achieve every month. But I think now November and December will be a bit quieter because it's leading up to Christmas, and I feel like lots of the shows that I've auditioned for were Christmas shows, and now Christmas shows have stopped auditioning and they'll start rehearsing and there'll be less going on until a new year maybe, so we'll find out. So in November I taped for 2 different projects. One of them had a lot to it though, because I was taping for multiple different characters, because I just thought like I could play either character, so I might as well just learn the material and tape both. And I also taped a song for it, so there was a lot going on. Like without going into details, there was just a lot to do for that one. And then another tape I did was a redirection, which I've never had before, but I got redirected on a tape I did before and got asked to send it in again, so I did that. And there was another tape that I did see that I was considering submitting for, but then I'd learned the lines and stuff and it was on Mandy, and then they closed submissions early, so I think that's something I've been seeing. But like it was a project that like financially might have been a bit difficult because it was a 1-day shoot, and then like if I paid for travel and all of the costs that go into it, like it wouldn't have been financially, like I'd have made a little bit of profit but like not a lot, you know what I mean, like one of those kind of jobs. But I think November's been quiet for everyone, and I think it's important to talk about that. Like everyone who I've heard from who is doing acting has said how quiet it is, because I think November's always quite quiet because it's in the lead up to Christmas, and I think learning about which times of year will be quiet is really beneficial, because I've taken on doing quite a lot of work outside of acting just because I know that there aren't going to be as many auditions coming up, and I'll be able to commit more to being able to do more long-term work, and going to auditions and doing acting can be quite expensive, and obviously we do need to earn money in life. So I think it's really important to have balance in life and to find ways to have that second career, because like the majority of people need that and need to be earning money outside of this and having a balance. So I think that's something I've been really working on this month, and it's good to have other things going on and to have a life and to have other things you do. So overall it's been still quite busy in life. So December has been actually not what I was expecting it to be at all, because I had no auditions for the whole of the first half of the month. So I thought, that's it, I'm getting no auditions for the second half of December, because I knew that big casting directors close their offices for Christmas and for the start of January. So I just was expecting it to be quite quiet. And then actually what happened was all of my auditions were in the second half of December. But I think this is something that might not be the same for everyone who's doing acting, because I think when you're more established, acting work and auditions tend to fall within more normal working and office hours, I guess. But like, I'm auditioning also for student films and passion projects and all sorts of different things, and it just tends to fall in different places, because some people who are more established are like, why are you auditioning on a Thursday evening? Why are you auditioning on a Saturday? But I think that's just kind of the stage I'm at, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I had 2 self-tapes I did in the second half of the month. And I actually have 3 self-tapes as I'm speaking in December that I could do, but I could also do them in early January. And that's where like it's complicated priority-wise, because it's been over Christmas. So firstly, people say it's important to prioritize life and family as well, but also like if I'm focusing on Christmas and family, are my tapes going to be the best quality as they could be if I didn't just like give more time to it in January? I don't know. Like, that's something I'm trying to work out. So that's what's happened with that. But going into next year, I would love to audition for more TV work, because I think it's just really hard to get TV auditions, and I very rarely get the opportunity to be in the audition room for TV. I think I've had 1 audition ever, TV-wise, but I haven't been with my agent for a whole year yet, so maybe I'm going to get more opportunities for that. I think usually springtime, maybe, you might get auditions for projects filming in the summer. So I'm just interested to see what kind of opportunities I get through my agent, because I've only been with my agent since July. So I want to know what auditions will look like throughout a whole year at all different times. So I guess that's kind of all I have to say, but I think it is quite hard to make goals audition wise, because part of the excitement of it is you never know what projects are going to be being made. But I think that's what makes it fun and interesting. I would like to get a guest role and get some lines on TV at some point. I would like more TV opportunities, more film opportunities. I've done quite a few short films, I'd like to do more of that. But I'd just like to do more of everything, really. I'd like to do some Shakespeare, but I think it's just fun to see what kind of projects you have, because each project is exciting for its own different reason. So it will be interesting moving into the new year. So please subscribe and stay tuned to see what happens next year, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!